and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be baking banana bread. So the first thing on our list, it says in a bowl, add the bananas and mash until smooth. So the recipe calls for 3 ripe bananas, but I'm going to put 5 because they're pretty little. Okay, our next step is to mash them until they're smooth. So here's my masher. I'm going to start out with a big masher, and then once I get most of the pieces pretty mashed, I'm going to go in with a fork. Okay. One-third of a cup of butter. So 1/3 cup is 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm just gonna grab a knife. Okay. And I currently have the oven preheating right now. So let's just check this mash. Put this in the microwave. Okay, and while we're waiting, I'm just gonna mash this some more. And then after we add the butter, we're gonna add the sugar, egg, vanilla, baking soda, salt, and flour. And we're gonna stir until it's batter. And one thing I did forget to put out before making this is the actual bowl that the banana bread's gonna go into, so I'm gonna grab that now. So let's see if it has us greasing the pan. Okay, it does have us greasing the pan, so I'm gonna take the leftover butter from that stick. Let me see if it's done. Yep. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna actually set this aside. I'm gonna mix this until well combined. And I know that it says to directly add the sugar, the baking soda, and flour and stuff, but I'm actually going to start mixing that into here. And then I'm going to add the wet ingredients into that. Okay, as we can see, it's well combined. We're going to set that aside, and then we're going to add the sugar in here. And so it says 1/2 cup of sugar, and today I'm going to be using organic coconut sugar. Okay. And this is 1/2 cup. And 1/2 cup. Sorry about the noise, that is just the oven telling me it's finished preheating. I made a little mess. We're just gonna wipe that to the side. 1/2 cup sugar, and then it says add the egg. So in another, well, let me just grab another small bowl. We're gonna crack the egg in here, make sure there's no shells. Then we're gonna take the fork from this mixture and just kind of scramble it in here. Then we're gonna add the egg to our banana and butter mixture. And we're gonna mix that in. Now that we have the egg mixed in, we're gonna add vanilla extract, and it's 1 teaspoon. So I have all my little spoons here. And I always like to do this over something else so I don't add too much. So we're gonna put it over here. And I'm gonna add that to our wet ingredients. And mix that in. And I'm adding all the wet ingredients together even though it doesn't say to do that on here. And then mixing it as I put one thing in so everything is evenly combined, because before I have made things where you can taste the salt in like part of it, or taste like the baking powder in another part and it's not evenly mixed. So I found that adding one ingredient and then mixing that in at a time has helped to evenly distribute it. And then next is the baking soda, which we're gonna add into our dry ingredients, and it calls for 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So now let me grab a paper towel and wipe out the vanilla extract. Okay. Just a whole bunch of clumps in here. Okay. And then we're gonna add that in here. Side, and we're going, ooh, I don't have a, I'll just use this. Oh no. Maybe I'm gonna take, that does not want to unclog. Let me grab a knife. And then we're gonna mix that in. Okay, and the next thing I didn't grab, so I'm gonna have to go grab it, is salt. Let's see. Here we go, here's some salt. And now I'm just gonna pour a little bit in my hand, about like that much. I'm gonna take it and just sprinkle it in there, and then we're gonna mix it. While we're mixing, the next thing it says to add is the flour, and that's 1.5 cups of flour. Okay, just scooch all of this over just a little bit. Grab our flour. Okay, and it's 1.5 cups of flour. So I like to add a little bit more flour in my cup and just take the smooth side of the butter knife and gently wipe it off. So there's 1 cup, and now we need a half. And put this right back over here. Okay, now we're going to mix this in. Okay, and that's what the mixture looks like right now. And what else does it say to add? Now we are going to mix these together. So I'm going to add the liquid to the dry, or the wet ingredients, sorry. And then I'm going to take a mixer and I'm going to mix that up. And you want to make sure that you get all of your flour and everything off the sides of your bowl. And what always happens to me whenever I'm mixing is at the bottom, there's sometimes flour and stuff that gets kind of caked into the corners of like your dishes, and it doesn't end up getting mixed in with the wet ingredients, and I find that out after or while I'm putting it in the pan to cook. So you just want to make sure you get all of it. Okay, and then the last thing this recipe calls for is 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips. So I'm actually going to add 1 cup of chocolate chips because we're all kind of chocolate chip lovers. So add that in and mix it up. So now while this is sitting, we are going to grab our pan and butter it. And then the recipe says to bake for 50 minutes to an hour. So our butter had been sitting out for a little while, so it was already kind of mushy. So as you can see, I'll show you in a second. The butter in here is not even. It kind of clumped in some places. So now I'm just gonna take my knife and clear out the clumpy butter parts. There we go. And now we're going to add our banana bread into the pan. And I'm gonna use this spatula so the batter doesn't get stuck in between the tongs again. And this is what your batter should look like. Now that I've gotten most of it out, I'm gonna set my bowl down and kind of just get all of the batter off the sides of my bowl and off the bottom. and just put it to one small section within your bowl. And then I'm going to add that in. We're going to set that bowl in the sink. I'm going to grab a paper towel, kind of get some of the batter off my hands. And then now that it's all in here, I'm going to kind of just evenly try and push it in the pan so one side's not bigger than the other. And now that I have that, I'm going to take like maybe a little handful of additional chocolate chips, and I'm going to sprinkle it on the top so that it looks like that. And then bake for 15 minutes to an hour or until a toothpick comes out clean. Cool completely before serving. Okay. So now let's pop this in the oven. And I'm going to use the Microwave's Kitchen timer, and we're going to start with 45 minutes. And I will see you guys back. Hello, I just wanted to give you all a little bit of an update. The bread has been in the oven for like 30 minutes now, and so far it's rising pretty good. It still has about 20 minutes more to go. I'll give you more of an update when it's like 5 minutes until it's complete, and then I'll show you the final product. Hi guys, so I just took the bread out of the oven and it is officially finished. This is the final product.
Subscribe to my channel.